All right, let's bring in some better legal minds. Eric Bland, Mark Geragos, and Sara Azari. Let's start with the trip for the jurors. Eric Bland, do you have any suggestion about why they made that second stop at the pond place?
I don't. I wasn't there. I think that's where Paul had stayed the night, and I just don't have enough because I was not involved in the jury view. For me, though, it wasn't an apples and apples comparison because it would have meant more to the jury, I think, to be there at night when it's dark, to hear how silent the country is, the country air is. But it may have answered some questions for a juror or two who may have been on the fence. But I think, as Mark and Sarah are going to say, pretty much probably 9 or 10 jurors have already made up their minds. But it could lend some for discussions in the jury room if there's any doubt about where bodies were, now that they've seen it, and they've also been able to see the distance from the kennels to the house. I think that's probably the most important thing, so that they could say, well, he would have heard the guns or he wouldn't have, or it would have been very easy for him to make the left turn to go to the kennels before he went to Alameda.
I mean, look, they're going to know this. As somebody who's very familiar with shotguns and weapons and lives in some of the remote area, though I have water around me and that does something to sound, you're going to hear it in an area like that. There's no question about that. But Sarah, what I want you to kind of reconstruct for us, because everybody's going to have to refocus now, okay? Because we're hearing the closings, and then it's going to go into jury deliberation. So what are the concerns about the timeline, and how might that match up with what jurors would be looking for at the scene?
Well, I think, Chris, one of the most critical reasons for this jury view and why the defense requested it is really for the jury to not just rely on these two-dimensional, accounts by different witnesses during this trial, but to actually feel and see the spatial relationships, the distance, the timing. The doorway of the feed room where Paul's body was discovered is very important to the two-shooter theory. The distance between the kennel and the house is very important to that Mr. Clean idea that, he rushed over to the house, cleaned himself up, and then got in his car and went to his mom's. It was very critical to do this, and that's why the defense asked for this, because now when they're deliberating, Chris, they're going to have this template, right, to plug into the evidence into. They have actually been there. They have experienced. Some of the questions have been answered for them, and it's very different than having to rely just on the experts who've testified. Now they get to do the analysis for themselves.
Mark, I was kind of going back over this. I had a buddy today, we were having lunch. He was asking me questions that I didn't remember the answers to. And one of the big ones was the ballistics. They're going to go there. What Sarah calls the Mr. Clean suggestion, which is, boy, you shoot people at close range like that, it's going to go all over the place. You're going to have a lot of cleanup to do. Okay, maybe, maybe not. But the two weapons aspect of this, should that be getting more attention? The prosecution explaining why two weapons were in play.
So I've been saying, contrary to what a lot of others have said since early on in this, that the two guns suggests to me reasonable doubt alone for two shooters. And that's why when the defense put on an expert, I thought that that was a very smart and strategic move, because the two guns gives you all kinds of questions. And remember what's going to happen in a case like this. Just as you, when you were having lunch with your friend, couldn't remember some of the earlier stuff, my father used to always tell me that it doesn't matter what happened for the first 5 or 6 weeks of a trial. Once the defendant gets on the stand, that's all the jurors want to talk about. So the jurors will talk about that. They're going to be fixated on, what did Alex Murdaugh say? Where was he? How did he do this? How did he do that? It's going to be through the prism, and I would imagine that when we get the defense closing, you'll see that. It'll be through the prism of what he said. Does it hang together? And if it does hang together, at least enough so that they are, very interestingly today, the instructions that the prosecutor was using are the identical instructions that I use with great frequency, and most defense lawyers that I know focus on, the credibility, the definition of reasonable doubt. That's generally the defense argument. It's a page straight out of it.
Eric, what's your take on the two weapons?
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.